All right, let's get some music going here. Today is shoulders. If you're joining for the first time, these are full length uncut videos. So if you're looking for something short, some sort of quick how to, this is not the video for you. So you might as well jump now. These are my workouts that I'm doing over the next couple months, just sharing them with you guys here in my home gym. So today we're using resistance bands. This is phase 2 of the program that I'm making available to download for free. It started with body weight. This week is all resistance bands, and we progress into bands plus weights onto a full advanced weight training routine is kind of the goal over the next couple months. So if you're a beginner, someone who took a break from working out, you're trying to jump back into it, this is a great program. With that being said, let me get some music going here. See what we got. Little Pink Floyd remix. All right. Well, yesterday was legs, and I'm feeling it today. Low back is super stiff, so grabbing a foam ball. I prefer this over a foam roller. I'm just going to loosen up here for a second. So if you ever notice that your low back is really tight after legs, a lot of times that's coming from tightness in the glutes and the hamstrings. So I'm going to loosen up. First, I usually start right under my low back here on one side. The nice thing is you can roll that thing around and really digs in there. So all these workouts, if this is your first time catching one of these, beginning to end, is everything. My routine as far as what I do to stretch, warm up, cool down. So if you got a short attention span, like I said, not the videos for you. But if you want to pop your headphones in and join the workout, it's a nice way to have a virtual training partner, I guess. So next, get right under the glutes there. Oh, yeah. I like this remix. So far, these videos haven't been blocked because of music, except in Russia and some other country. YouTube's pretty particular when they hear music in the background. Now, if you want, you can also even pop under the hamstrings there. Oh. Wow. You know, if you got injuries, the reality is you just have to put in the extra time and work. Have your routine, little maintenance program. And that's just the reality of it. My first 20 years of training, I didn't stretch, I didn't warm up, I didn't do any of that. But it's part of the program now. If I want to keep doing this for a long time, it's what I have to do. All right. Oh, yeah. So, being that it's shoulder day, we're going to do some quick movements, not just to warm up the shoulders, but to strengthen the shoulders, all those smaller muscles that we call our rotator cuff. I think shoulders are probably one of the most susceptible to injury in the gym. So we're going to start with some light arm circles, get some blood going in there. So we're going to go to the front, nice and controlled. Don't do little shit like this. Get some movement. Usually I do 12 to 15. And then reverse it. It's also where I get my mind wrapped around my workout. Trying to get in that right mindset. Get focused. So it's a mental prep and a physical prep for the workout. All right, I've been showing a little trick I use for internal rotation, external rotation, but I want to show you what it would look like otherwise. Grab bands, we're going to be using these today anyway. So if I were to take an extra light band here, of course it's and I anchor it to something. So first, keeping that elbow tucked, this would be external rotation, going to the outside. And then I would turn around. The opposite is internal rotation. So I would have to do internal rotation and external rotation for left arm, then right arm. So that takes 4 times as long as it does to do this simple hack where grabbing a towel, palms facing each other, elbows tucked, and you're creating resistance with the opposite arm. So we're getting both internal and external rotation, left arm, right arm at the exact same time. And this is just more time efficient for me. I don't know if this song is exactly getting me hyped up right now. No. All right. Do a few more of these. Just a few weeks ago, this arm I could barely do any kind of external rotation. Biceps tendon was killing me, so been diligent about doing this every day and starting to feel a gradual improvement. We're going to take this band right here, step on it shoulder width apart, raise those elbows up to shoulder height. You want a 90 degree right there at the elbow. and we're gonna rotate up just like that. This is how we're gonna bulletproof our shoulders. I'm gonna try to make sure you keep those elbows in one spot. One more. Oh yeah. All right, last one. Keep the same band. Grab it a little narrower than shoulder width apart. And all we're gonna do is a pull apart. Keep those arms straight. You can see I'm pulling the band right across my face. This isn't just a good warm-up exercise. This is a really awesome exercise for the rear delts. Let's do one more. Nice. All right. Kind of shake it off. Grab a drink of water, and we're going to jump in to our first exercise. We're going to be doing shoulder press. So we're going to do 3 sets of 12. Let me shake that up. 3 sets of 12. 90 seconds rest in between. So we're going to keep our rest periods nice and short. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to step on that band, anchor it under our feet. Grabbing about shoulder width apart here, I want you to just drop down into a squat. This is the easiest way to get in position. And this is our starting spot right here. So I'm going to play it smart here, or safe. Since my shoulder has been pretty torn up, I'm going to go a little lighter. You used to use the extra heavy band and actually stack other bands. But it's not about what you used to do. It's about what you can do right now. All right. So here we go. Keeping our hands nice and wide, we're going to press straight up. Control them on the way down. Control our rep tempo, 2 seconds on the negative, 2 seconds on the concentric push. That's 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. I know I got more in me, so we're going to go to 15. 13. 14. One more. 15. Remember, there's no magic in a certain rep count. People tell you, oh, the rep range for building muscle is 8 to 12 reps. True, if the level of intensity is there. But just hitting 12 reps doesn't mean you're going to magically build muscle. So if you find yourself in your set where it's a little bit light and you get to 10 or to 12 easy, do more. Make that set count. So I'm going to probably, what I'm going to do is add one of the smaller bands to it, stack them, find a resistance level in the middle. So we want to make sure that we make the most out of our 90-second rest. Spend it stretching. Whatever muscle group we're working, we want to make sure that we're stretching that muscle back out in between our sets. All right. All right, here we go. Two. Three. Four. Five. Six. 7. 8. 9. 3 more. 10. Come on. Yeah. So a little trick that I use doing shoulder press, you can try little changes like this to change the way the exercise feels. So I'm not thinking about pressing straight up. As I come toward the top, I'm thinking about pressing out just a little bit. And I feel a much stronger contraction in the deltoids and a little less in the triceps. So remember, this is a compound movement. So look at all the movement at the elbow here. That means we're using a lot of triceps. So when you see someone real narrow like this, it's a lot of triceps coming into play. So I like to try to minimize the movement at the elbow, keep them a little bit wider, and then press out. So you can see more movement at the shoulder, less movement at the elbow. Still going to use triceps no matter what, but let's face it, it's a shoulder exercise, so trying to put the focus there. All right, we got one more set of these. Remember, stretch a little bit. And like every workout so far in this program, we're using controlled rep tempos as a strategy to boost the intensity. Doesn't mean you always have to train with super slow controlled reps, but I prefer to do it because it allows me to use slightly less resistance. So when we get into weight training, dumbbells, I don't feel like I have to sling super heavy weight. I can drop down just a little bit and then kick up the intensity with controlled reps. So I can still get the same kind of stimulus to build muscle without as much wear and tear on my body. Here we go. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. Halfway. 7. Whew. There's 8. These super slow reps, they start to burn, man. 9. You gotta push through it. There's 10. 2 more. One more. Oh. Nice. All right, stretch it out. So this is our last body part specific workout for this week, for phase 2. So if you download the program, you'll see that Saturday is a full body workout. So that's tomorrow, Saturday. But once you do that, then we're moving into phase 3. We're going to start bringing weights into it. So it'll be a combination of dumbbells with resistance bands, which is some of my favorite work. So excited to jump into those. But right now, we're going to move into exercise number 2. We're going to do lateral raises. So this is targeting middle delt. So a press is a compound movement because we have movement at 2 joints, elbow and shoulder. So a lateral raise is an isolation movement because we're only moving at 1 joint, the shoulder. And we do have another isolation exercise later, which is going to be a front raise, and that's targeting the anterior deltoid or the front of your shoulder. So my recommendation, go with a very light band. Here's how I like to do them. So I'll step on it with 1 foot. Now, if I were to do a lateral raise right here, first of all, I want to start the range of motion here with tension, not out here. But even here, this band is super loose. I'm going to step on it with my other foot. And now I have tension right here. You gotta remember with bands that the more you stretch a band, the more resistance you get. So now tension here at the beginning of the range of motion. Right here, just a little above parallel. We don't need to exaggerate this. Right there. There's 3. I think for me, I always visualize ear height. 4. Control that tempo. 5. 6. 7. 8. Notice when I initiate, it's nice and controlled. 9. 10. 2 more. 11. 1 more. 12. You got to think about all that connective tissue in there. We don't want to have these abrupt movements. It just puts unnecessary stress on that connective tissue. Like imagine if your car broke down and someone was going to tow you and they used a nylon towing strap. So imagine if they started with that a little bit slack and all of a sudden they took off real quick and it just snapped that thing tight, right? It's going to cause some sort of damage either to their vehicle or to yours or to the towing strap. So what would you do? Well, you would gradually put tension on it and then you would go. So think of it the same way. Goal here is build a great physique, feel stronger, but also feel good. We don't want a bunch of aches and pains in our shoulders and elbows and knees. You don't need to. Like the no pain, no gain, that doesn't apply to joints. I'm actually really happy to be able to do these. I couldn't do this right here a few weeks ago. There's 6. 7. 8. Got 4 more. That's 1. 2. 3. Nice. So last week I kind of went on a rant about, how I'm doing these workouts for myself. I'm really just sharing the process, but, at the same time, I do want to make these as helpful and as possible, share as much information as I can. So we don't want to slow these workouts down too much by talking too much, but I'll do my best to share my thought process, my rationale for doing certain things, or my philosophy, and maybe find some of it helpful. But these are definitely not how-to videos. They're just me doing my workouts, sharing what I do and why I do it. All right. A little bit easier than yesterday, legs. And that's because we're working little tiny muscles here. The deltoids are relatively small as opposed to lower body working quads, glutes, hamstrings, really big muscles, requires a lot of oxygen. So you'll feel definitely a different kind of intensity between the workouts. That's why some people don't like leg day. That's why other people love it. There's 4. Third of the way there. 5. 6. 7. 8. It's probably one of my favorite exercises with bands. 2 more. One more. Even when you're using dumbbells, you really don't have a lot of resistance from here to here. It's kind of just like a pendulum. It just swings because we're relying on gravity to create that resistance. So you only start to feel it right about here versus bands. You feel it right from the beginning of the range of motion. And then as we stretch them, you get maximum tension here at the peak of the contraction. So it makes for a very strong contraction in the muscle. Dyslexic moment there. We already did that side. You know, I'm counting out the reps, 3, so that you don't have to watch these. You can put your earphones in, just do the workout with me. There's 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. We got 3 more. 10. One more. Oh. Now, it's been a trend over the last couple years, and it really has been just the last couple years. But like with all things fitness, there's so many trends. They come and they go. They're more like fads than they are trends. But the big one these days is this exaggerated range of motion for lateral raises. I personally disagree with it. If you want to do it, do it. But if you want to know why I keep it limited to this, well, first and foremost, this is your maximum range of motion in the muscle. People talk about full range of motion, but you have to differentiate between full range of motion in the muscle versus full range of motion in the joint. So this is full range of motion in the middle deltoid. This is full range of motion in the joint. So what's assisting from here to here? Well, that's where your trapezius starts to kick in. So if you want to turn this into a middle delt trapezius exercise, that's cool. You do it. Me personally, I'm trying to target middle deltoid, and I don't like the impingement that happens when I go a lot higher. Everyone's different. Some people, it doesn't bother them. For me, it does. I don't like the shoulder pain associated with it. So it's that old saying, you know, is the juice worth the squeeze, right? Risk versus reward. Like whatever maybe fractional difference you might get by doing this, is it worth the risk of injury? It's up to you to decide. All right, here we go. It's like everyone wants to debate this stuff. I have no desire to debate it. You want to do it? Fucking do it. And you're the one who has to pay the price, not me. That's 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. I'll tell you another thing. A lot of the people that are talking about this stuff, they're still young. My reaction is, you come back in 20 years and you tell me that you still like that exercise. It's one thing about doing this for 34 years. You start to, you know, see the full life cycle of it. And you start to have to deal with the consequences of your actions from your youth. One more. It's kind of like skin cancer. Dermatologists will tell you that a lot of times the damage that we have to deal with later on in life all happens from our youth when we're kids and teenagers. No different in the gym. There's 2. 3. 4. 5. There's 6. That's halfway. 8. 4 more. One more. No, actually 2 more. I lied. Oh, nice. All right, we stretch out in between, grab some water. You got to move fast in your rest periods. There's just enough time. Grab some water and stretch it out and get prepped for your next set. All right. So I have on here that we're going to be doing a resistance band shrug, which is cool. I'll show you that, but we're going to do something slightly different, a little bit modified version of that. So your shrug is primarily working your upper trapezius. It's going to lift our shoulder. But we're going to do a combination of a shrug and an upright row. Now, normally, say with a bar, I don't like upright rows. That's a closed chain exercise. It ends up putting a lot of pressure on my wrist and my elbow. But with bands, we have all this kind of freedom of movement in our hands. So it's more like an open chain exercise with bands. And so this is going to work not only our trapezius, but also we're going to hammer those middle delts again. So here's what it looks like. Want to reach down low enough to get some tension here. So it's a 2-part motion. First, it's a shrug, right? So this is the traps. And then a little bit of a raise. Shrug. So when you shrug, now you have to hold that contraction and come up, so you get a really good squeeze there in the traps. And that's one of the ways that I get around having to use a lot of weight. I used to do crazy heavy shrugs, grabbing ridiculously heavy dumbbells. But one of the problems, I started getting nasty headaches. If you look at the shape of the trapezius, how it goes up towards the back of your skull, you can see how when that muscle gets really tight, it starts to pull, and that translates into that kind of like pain in the upper neck. Well, that rep was ugly. Let me do that over again. Let's do 2 more. There's 1. So like I was saying, this muscle gets really tight and it starts to pull here, and that's what's going to cause that discomfort. So it's important to get a really light stretch. I'm looking for something that I can kind of grab onto. We'll grab the dumbbell rack here. And just really light. Head goes the opposite direction. You want just a nice stretch right across here. we'll do the other side. Now, some people for shrugs, you'll see them doing this rolling motion as they do them. The thought process behind that is your trapezius, like I said, is this trapezoid-shaped muscle fibers running in different directions. So it doesn't just lift our shoulders, it also helps us pull our shoulder blades back, also helps pull them down. So it's like this multi-purpose muscle. So thought process is, well, let me get that shrug, and then also let me get a little more contraction in the middle of the trapezius. The reason that I don't do it is just that wear and tear of having this resistance here. And then, so basically the shoulder's under traction, right? The dumbbell's pulling it down. So then we're gonna come up and then we're gonna roll it back. It's just, for me, a lot of, again, unnecessary wear and tear on the joint. I used to do a lot of things that were kind of like, you know, the old school bodybuilding dogma. And I just realized over time that all these attempts to get this, you know, maybe extra isolation or, you know, that extra contraction, whatever that benefit is, just didn't end up being worth the wear and tear on the body. So there's a lot of exercises that I've promoted through the years that I don't believe in anymore. As we get into more of the dumbbells, we'll talk more about that. All right, so I'm going to go up in resistance a little here. Here we go. So the shrug and the upright row. You don't need to go high with that upright row. Shrug right to the bottom of your chest is cool. Set. Holding this isometric contraction at the top that gives you more time under tension in the muscle. And like I said, it's another way to boost the intensity or the stimulus without having to use ridiculously heavy weights. Is it the only way? No, it's just a way. And that's the thing these days, everyone wants to get in these stupid debates, and they are stupid, about what's the best way. Really isn't a best way, there's just different ways. Got 3 more of these. One more. Nice. I'm gonna grab some water, we'll stretch out. We'll do our next set. You could probably even come over to an upright like this. You're just gonna have to lean over more. You'll feel whether it's working or not. Definitely try to bring that ear close to your shoulder. Nice. All right, we got one more set of these. we're gonna move after this to a front raise, I believe. That's what I have on here. Yep. Like I said, that'll be an isolation movement for the anterior delt. And then we're gonna hit a little bit of rear delts in our cool down with some pull aparts. All right, here we go. Shrug, upright row. There's 2. 3. 4. 5. There we go, halfway. Oh man, 2 more. One more. You know, traps actually were that first muscle group that I really was super intrigued by. It was like the old Incredible Hulk with Lou Ferrigno. Yeah, he'd do that most muscular and traps would be popping. The reality is though, we're all built very different, our structure. Some people can build big traps like that where they pop up super high, right up under their ears. And some people like me, didn't matter what I did. And I think a lot of it just has to do with the structure of your shoulders, the width of your shoulders, your clavicle. Like I said, we're just all a little bit different. A lot of the people that I know that had big traps had a little bit narrower shoulders. People with really broad shoulders, in my opinion, based on just, experience over time, typically have a little more challenge building bigger traps. The ones that sit up nice and high on the shoulder like that. All right. So we're gonna do a front raise. Actually, you know what? We're gonna do a modified version of a front raise and knock out rear delts at the same time. So it's a front raise pull apart. Here's what it's gonna look like. First, it's the front raise. So that's front of the shoulder. And then we pull apart, arms nice and straight, and that's rear delts. Back down to the start. It's 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. Oh, let's go. 7. 8. 4 more. Shake it off. 9. 3 more. 10. Come on. 12. Oh, that burns. So his first two phases, last week being body weight, have to go with a little bit more reps, nice controlled rep speed to get that intensity. Bands this week, we're doing the same thing, but as we progress into a more advanced routine, we're going to start changing our rep ranges just a little bit. But the one thing that'll stay consistent is our weekly split, what body parts we're training on what days, that stays the same. The rest periods pretty much stay the same, 90 seconds throughout this whole thing. So we are establishing a foundation here as we progress into other basically training tools, right? Band's a training tool, dumbbells a training tool. They're just all tools. And it's how you use the tool. You give someone a saw, doesn't make them a craftsman, right? All right, loosen it up. This one's gonna burn. Fair warning. Here we go. It's 1, 2. As it starts to burn, don't rush those reps. Keep that tempo. It's natural to want to rush when those muscles start to burn. That's 6, halfway. Let's count them off in 3s. Let's get to 9. There's 1. 2. That's 3. We got 3 more. Feel free to shake it off. Let's go. 1. Oh. 1 more. Anyone who's followed any of my older YouTube content, you'll remember Bones here. He sat in a storage unit for like 4 years. So he's happy to be back in the gym. All right. 1 more of these. This will be our last exercise, then we'll do quick cool down, and that'll be a wrap for today. Been pretty quick. Get it in, get it done. All right, here we go. It burns already. There's 2. This is going to be a miserable set. Let's do this. There's 3. Let's just count them off in 3s. We'll get through them 1 rep at a time. There's 1. 2. There's 3. That's halfway. That's 6. Shake it off for just a second. Let's do 3 more. One. That's 2. One more. 3. Shake it off. We only have 3 more. This is it. Home stretch. 1. Whew. 2. One more. It's one that counts. Oh, man. That's what I'm talking about. Yep. Good stuff. So we're going to do a cool down, which is actually going to keep that burn going here. We're going to go back to our arm circles for a second. So let's go forward. You're going to feel these shoulders are probably fried right now. At least mine are. 5, 6, 7. Let's do 3 more. Go to 10. We're going to back it up. Reverse it. Oh, man. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, man, I don't care who you are. You can be advanced. You do that right with the right amount of intensity. That's a good shoulder workout right there. I'm feeling that. So let's come back into this stretch, bringing the arm across the body. Other side. Let's get those arms above the head. Oh, yeah. Nice. Then let's hit those traps one more time. Same thing. Bring that ear closer to your shoulder. Don't do this aggressively. All right, another side. Nice. That's our workout. So if you downloaded the PDF, if you haven't already, the link's in the description here, so download it. You'll find Saturday's workout, that's tomorrow, so that's our full body workout. This is just to get the body moving again. It's going to help with recovery. It's obviously also going to help you burn some calories, help with conditioning. The intensity level doesn't have to be crazy high. I would say more moderate. But, you know, banging out a full body workout, as long as you keep your rest periods short, you should work up a sweat. You should be huffing and puffing just a little bit. So knock that out. And then I will see you on Monday, where we're going to jump right back into chest and triceps. But now we're going to be bringing the dumbbells into the equation in combination with resistance bands. So that's pretty fun. It's a nice way to boost the intensity, and also it creates a little bit different feel as well. So like I said, that's one of my favorite combinations. So I will see you guys Monday.